everyone, welcome to the Self-Care Hour. Thank you for joining today. So my aim of the Self-Care Hour is to offer affordable resources to help people grow through what they go through, as well as offer therapy. A subject that I feel many people face is self-judgment. This mini starter kit is all about how to quieten your inner critic. If you've landed here, chances are that you've got that voice in your head, the one that tells you you're not doing enough, or that you're not good enough, or that everyone else has got it together and somehow you don't. Well, let me just say this up front. You're not alone. We all have that voice, or we all have at one stage in our lives. But the good news is it doesn't have to run the show. So, although this isn't a replacement for therapy, it's a helpful guide to support you in recognizing and overcoming your own inner critic. So, let's kick off with understanding what the inner critic is. It often pipes up when you're doing something brave. You might be starting something new, or you might be taking a risk, maybe even just being seen. It says things like, "You're not good enough," "You'll mess this up again," or "Everyone else is doing better than you." That's actually your inner critic speaking. And while it might sound like the truth, it's usually just fear in disguise. And while it often sounds like your own voice speaking, it's often shaped by old experiences. That could be from childhood messages, things you've listened to your entire life, school, your social circle, social media even, and the whole world that you've grown up in. So why does it matter? It matters because if it's left unchecked, that voice can really hold us back. It can chip away at our self-esteem. It ramps up in anxiety. It leads to procrastination and perfectionism, that never-ending, not good enough loop. And sometimes it even gets in the way of how we can connect with others, because if you're always judging yourself, it's hard to feel fully present with other people. So some of the things that have really helped me is recognizing that your inner critic isn't evil. It's not trying to destroy you. In a way, it's often trying to protect you, just in a really blunt, unhelpful way. So instead of fighting it, we're going to learn how to work with it. That starts with 3 small steps. The first one is to notice it. The second one is to challenge it. And the third one is to soften it. So on this next slide, let's do an exercise together to get used to that way of thinking. So grab a pen and paper if you haven't already and follow along. And the beauty of this is that it is recorded. So if you want to pause, just pause at any time whilst you're reflecting. So step 1 is to notice it. Pay attention to when the inner critic shows up. What is it saying to you? When is it the loudest? How does it sound? What would it look like if it was a real person? Sometimes just naming it can make a huge shift in your mindset. For example, mine is called the judge, and I imagine her to be completely different to me. That way, I'm separating these voices from my own affirming one. Step 2, challenge it. Ask yourself, is it actually true? Is there someone in my life that I imagine when the voice is loud? What feelings do I associate this voice with? So, for example, is the voice appearing because you're feeling fearful or you're feeling worried about what you want to do? Step 3, soften it. If a friend said what you're thinking, what would you say back? What is going well for you right now? And what are your strengths? For example, I know that I'm a good listener and I enjoy making people laugh. Therefore, although I'm fearful of going to this party, I know that I'll bring my strengths to it and people will like me. You'll find a few prompts like this to gently reframe those harsh thoughts and start speaking to yourself with a bit more compassion in the downloadable resources that came with this video. So, just to end on this session, you don't need to fix yourself and you don't need to be perfect. The aim of this work is to notice and to question and to choose something kinder, even if it's just a little bit. And use what helps, but leave what doesn't. Sometimes these exercises don't work for everyone, but you can come back to it as many times as you like. As next steps, download your free workbook that came with this workshop to start some of the exercises that we discussed here today. If you liked this mini series, consider becoming a member for access to much more in-depth courses and more mini series like this. And thank you for being here. You're doing way better than you think you are.